It's gear time! Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. As you know, in just a few days we're starting a world tour, and I want to take you through the gear that I'm gonna be carrying. If you have any question on the exact specification, everything is in the description below. So, number one, the cameras. So in terms of photography, my Nikon D750 is the camera I'm using all the time, and I have a few reasons for that. It's simply because I have amazing lenses that I use for my professional photography, and also that body is incredible. The dynamic range is crazy. You can literally shoot at high ISOs with barely any noise. You can push the shadows a lot without losing any detail. It's incredible. I'm using three main lenses. The first one is my Sigma 1.4 35mm, super incredible low light lens. 1.4 is amazing if you're shooting food in restaurants, for example, when it's super dark, or if you're shooting anything when it's really dark. This is amazing. Also, I like the 35mm angle on a full frame camera. It's beautiful. The bokeh is incredible. Well, anyway, I'm sold on that lens, and if I have to take only two lenses, those are the two I'm gonna take. Now I have also a 1635 f4. It's an incredible wide angle lens. It's great. The only downside, it's like huge, it's massive, it's super heavy, but the picture quality is incredible. I use that for mainly landscape when I want something super wide. So I'm shooting that for the landscape, or if I'm shooting rooms indoor and stuff like that and I want something super wide. And on a full frame, 16mm is beautiful. And my favorite of all time lenses, and also the most expensive. If you're not doing any professional job, it's difficult to justify because it's a lot of money for that lens. 70-200 f2.8. It is so beautiful. The bokeh that you get, the shallow depth of field at 70, at 200 is just incredible. Super big, it's super heavy, it's super bulky. So I usually either carry it in that bag here, if I manage to put it there, or I have a separate case for it. And I have to say it's a bit of pain in the ass in terms of size, but again, for those amazing shots when you need extended range, I cannot let that lens go for the moment. Now, that's it for the photography side. Let's move on to the video. So in terms of video, I am using a Panasonic GH5. This is an incredible camera. It's one of the only camera on the market that allows you to shoot in 4K at 60 frames per second, which is absolutely incredible. And that's something that's very important for me personally, because I want to do a lot of stock footages also. And I know that people will pay more for 4K, and if it's 60 frames per second, they can slow it down, so they will pay even more. That camera is also incredible in ergonomics. Did a few reviews on it. You can check those out if you're interested. But great camera, amazing for video. For photography, I'm not that convinced, to be honest, yet. It's just impossible for me to let that one go, because the dynamic range and the resolution on that guy is like nothing close to the Nikon. And also, I don't have those amazing lenses for that guy. Actually, with the Panasonic GH5 for video, I use 99.9% of the time the kit lens that came with the Panasonic G85 that I had before, which is a 1260 f3.5 5.6. It's not great for low light, but it works for 90% of the time. And if I want to use it in low light, this camera, what I'm using is actually a lens adapter. It's tiny, it's great, it's super small, and what it's gonna do, it's gonna adapt my Nikon lenses on that Micro Four Thirds Panasonic GH5. That's going to be super practical, and maybe you guys can tell me if I'm wrong, but when I'm adapting that full frame lens on a Micro Four Thirds, I'm also having a shallower, the f-stop also goes down. I can't remember exactly how it works. Maybe someone can leave it in the comments below. But yeah, so incredible lens ring allows me to use my like super high quality lenses on that baby. But it's gonna be in manual mode. But for video, that's fine whenever I'm taking B-roll or whenever I need those low light conditions, because usually that's for that kind of work. All right, on top of that, for the video, we also got that little guy, which is a Panasonic LX10, and this is Trina's camera, so I don't touch it too much, otherwise I'll get in trouble. But yeah, that's Trina's cameras. It's great. It records in 4K also. The pictures are really good, actually. So It's a great camera when you're going out in the evening. Then in the air, I'm using the DJI Mavic Pro. As you can see, it's just an incredible tool because it folds, it gets so small, and you can see even unfolded, it's just the size of the MacBook Pro. I have a few filters. They're ND polarized filters, and I think it's 4, 8, and 16 stops. And I use them mainly when I'm shooting above the water. Anytime it's super bright, this is what I'm going to use to lower the frame rate. Also, the polarizing filter when you're on top of the water is really nice because it's just gonna remove part of the reflection. Then obviously I've got a few propellers replacement just because I break them a lot. And I don't want to be traveling and suddenly not having the propellers again because that's a huge time loss. Action cam wise, well, I'm still using my GoPro Hero 4 Black Edition. I mean, everyone knows GoPros, it's great, you need it. It's always practical whenever you buy the water. A little charger, extra batteries over here, extra batteries for also the cameras. In terms of batteries, when you're traveling, you don't always have access to charging stations. So what I have is a battery pack here. It's called OmniCharge. You can find it on Amazon. They had a Kickstarter or Indiegogo campaign. That's how I got it. I got it for way cheaper. Those babies are not cheap. But I can charge a MacBook Pro with that, like fully. I can charge so many times cell phones. I can charge all my other battery packs. So it's for me, it's super worth it. And there is an AC output, which most of the battery packs don't have usually. That guy has it, so it's incredible. I also have lavalier microphone in case I'm in difficult sound environment and I want to just record one person like interview style. And then there is something else that's super important. Well, how do I edit all those footages and the pictures? It's very simple. I have the MacBook Pro here and hard drives. Okay, so in terms of hard drives, I kind of want to share something with you. When you're editing videos, if you're working from a normal hard drive, it's kind of very slow sometimes. So what I did is very simple. I actually bought a SSD hard drive, and this is tiny. And you might have seen it on some other people's channel. You have a size up to 2 terabytes on that, and that is so small. It's compact, it's amazing, it's super fast. Well, I just got the 500 gig simply because I can't afford the 2 terabyte. It's too big, it's too expensive for me right now. And then I have that guy. I have 2 or 3 of those guys actually, and it's just a WD hard drive, and that's 4 terabyte, which is huge. I just stock all the footages on that, and then I do on the work fly on that one. If you have any question about the workflow, I can do a separate video one day if you're interested. Another piece of equipment, yes, I use tripods. And I have 2 types. So I have the flexible tripod if you want to look like Casey Neistat, you know, that's amazing. But it's not just that you look like him, it's also very practical. And then you've got another one, which is that guy. It folds, it's not carbon, it's kind of heavy, but it's great. It does the job perfectly. And so now you must be wondering, well, that's great, you've got a lot of gear, but how do you fit it in your backpack? Well, actually, I have that backpack. It's a f-stop. It's a good backpack. I just think their customer service could be way better. This backpack is pretty simple. It's kind of waterproof up to a certain point. When it rains too much, water is going to infiltrate through the fabric here and get inside. But that's really when you're hiking for hours in the rain, and that's not everyday's condition. So if you do that, get a separate backpack or like waterproof case, or just get a plastic bag. It opens at the back, and then I have a little, how do you call that? And then I have a little bag like that with compartments where I put the gear in it. I close that, I put it in here, and then I put the laptop, I put everything in that backpack. Everything fits. It's actually amazing. And if you haven't seen the video with the stop motion about how I'm packing all that into here, I highly recommend you to watch that video. It should be somewhere here on the screen, so go check it out. Give it some love, give it a thumbs up, whatever. Another quick tip, if you have memory cards, get a little case like that and write on one side which ones are empty, which ones are not. And then if you don't have enough space, just get 2 cases and write empty and full, because that can avoid you formatting the wrong memory card. If you're new to this channel, we are leaving on a world trip in a few days. So if you're interested, if you love sailing, if you love traveling, if you want to discover the world, well, join me and Trina on this channel. Make sure you subscribe to that channel and we'll see you in the next adventure. It's going to be absolutely incredible. I can't wait to share with you all the destinations we're going to. The first one is going to be Greece, sailing for about 2-3 weeks around the islands. And yeah, if you want a little sun in your life and you're stuck in the office, this one is for you guys. And with that being said, I'm gonna let you go here for today. I hope you have enjoyed and I will see you in another episode very soon. See you guys, bye bye. Any question? Below.